Mark Rogers TV on the recruiting trail with the national champion Clemson Tigers, but it's back to work for Dabo Swinney and company in trying to maintain that lofty status. We bring in a Brittnee Taylor Newman from football.com to help us break down the Tigers class and some of those jewels coming in that we expect to see on the dotted line coming up on February 3rd, National Signing Day. Brittnee.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's amazing. It feels like he was just playing at the end of the season here, and then it's right back to work for Dabo.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we heard it out of Nick Saban's mouth, not surprisingly, that, yeah, we take a full day to celebrate and really kick back, maybe a full day. Then it's back to work. Hey, those expectations are high, and those guys get paid a lot of money, and it's a 365 job, no question, at places like Clemson.
Absolutely. And if you want to be competing and contending in the same position next year, you've got to start working now to make that happen, and for years past that, of course. But Clemson's kind of in a good spot. They're starting out well. They've got the 8th ranked class so far by ESPN against all of their competitors in college football. 15 commits so far, so not quite as many as we talked about earlier with Florida State and some other ACC contenders. But what's good news there for Clemson is that the reason they don't have quite as many spots filled, perhaps as a team like Florida State, is because they are waiting for signing day announcements that are probably going to be broadcast on TV. They're looking at top players that are sort of taking their time and enjoying the spotlight as top players are, like to do. So 9 of those 15 right now are ESPN 300 commits, so they are definitely pulling in quality players, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. I heard a comment made the other day about a couple of recruits who were set to announce their commitments during one of the All-Star games, the Under Armour or one of the All-Star games, but because of the flow of the game, the way things transpired, the reporter, the sideline reporter in the particular network didn't get to them, so they didn't announce that particular day. They said, hey, can't announce unless the cameras are on. So this is the world we live in with recruiting right now. When we look at the Clemson Tigers, though, Brittnee, who are some of those people that, some of those impact players that we're expecting to be stars in the future?
Well, I've got 5 pickups that I think are great pickups for the Tigers. And the first would be Dexter Lawrence. He's the number 3 defensive tackle in his position, 6th overall in the ESPN 300, 5-star. He's coming out of Wake Forest. I'm sure the Demon Deacons would have loved to have picked up this 6'5", 133-pound defensive tackle, but unfortunately, I can't blame him. He has picked Clemson. They've been on the move lately, so he is going to be a great name for them moving forward in the future. Tavien Feaster, he is the number 5 running back. I think Feaster's kind of a fun name for a running back. It denotes a certain aggression. I don't know. I like it. 53rd overall in the ESPN 300. He's a 4-star. You'll definitely be hearing his name in the future once he's got a little experience under his belt. Zerrick Cooper is another name you should know. He's the number 9 ranked quarterback in the country, certainly won't be vying for a starting spot next year. But as teams like Notre Dame and Florida State will tell you, it is so important to have a good starting quarterback and a good backup quarterback if you're going to stay in contention for an entire season. So he's a very strong quarterback, a pocket passer out of Georgia, definitely somebody that could be good to have in the lineup behind Deshaun Watson. I also like Deandre Overton. He's the number 18 ranked wide receiver in the country, a 4-star out of North Carolina, so not too far from Clemson. And my 5th player is Tavares Chase. He's a 4-star wide receiver out of Plant City, Florida, not too far from where I am from. And I think that all 5 of those players are people that the Tigers should be really excited about having picked up in the 15 that they currently have.
Brittnee, you may like Tavien a little bit better when you hear this. I checked out his Twitter as well, and he said one of the big reasons he chose Clemson is it just had that family feel to it. He just felt so comfortable that he was already part of the family, and it just fit for him. So he's the number 1 rated player out of South Carolina, regardless of position, 5th rated running back according to ESPN. You mentioned Zerrick Cooper. He's a kid that's a pocket passer, but also has speed and running a 40 in 4.77, one of the top 10 quarterbacks coming out this season.
Ooh,
yes.
I did not notice that. I like that.
Yes, number 9 according to ESPN, number 11 according to Rivals and Scouts. So he should get some playing time once that other guy gets off campus. Watson. Yeah, that's his name. All right, so those guys seem to be firmly entrenched, will fulfill their commitments and sign on the dotted line, we believe. Now, there might be a few other guys, maybe one in particular that, wow, if Clemson gets this guy, look out.
Yeah, you know, when we decided we were going to chat some Clemson recruiting this week, I thought I'd probably have a list of players we'd all, you know, talk about. They're going to make their decision between now and signing day or on signing day. But in the last 24 hours, I've gotten so excited about this announcement for Tiger fans. And if you follow recruiting, you probably already know this, but Rashawn Gary, the #1 recruit in the country, decided to take his last official visit to Clemson. He's there this week, which is a really, really good sign if you're a Tigers fan, because he's made an unofficial visit. The week that he was there, there weren't a lot of students on campus. It was an off week. A lot of the coaches weren't on site. Dabo Swinney actually had to Skype in, so he really didn't get the full Clemson experience. He is certainly going to be getting it this week from students and faculty and coaches alike, because they're so close to signing day and everybody'd like to pick this guy up. But he's a defensive tackle, 6'5", 293 pounds. He would be a great pickup for Swinney and the Tigers, and he will be making his announcement at 1 p.m. on SportsCenter on National Signing Day. So lots of visibility for the Clemson Tigers if he decides to go that way, and Dabo Swinney's able to pull him away from Michigan, which up until last night when this final visit was announced was the school that people assumed he might end up choosing. So little twist and turn in events, a little drama for National Signing Day. The Tigers may end up picking up the overall #1 player in the country.
Now, we know that we can't put it past Jim Harbaugh to actually go to the player's house during the visit and spend the night. So I'm
Wait in the driveway in the car.
What's that?
Wait in the driveway in the car.
Yeah, he will go the full route. He climbed a tree while he was playing catch because the ball got stuck in the tree, or there was some kind of story like that. Yes, he spent the night. What does Dabo Swinney have to do to top that? Is there going to be some kind of competition in regards to the best breakfast in bed? I don't know what there would have to be past that.
I think it should be settled with a dance-off. Can Jim Harbaugh dance as well as Dabo Swinney can?
Oh, Dabo's got just about any coach hands down when it comes to post-game celebration dances.
Yeah.
Dabo's the guy.
Yeah.
All right. A recruiting report like none other from Brittnee Taylor Newman from football.com, talking up some Clemson Tigers. Thanks, Brittnee.
Thanks for having me on.